Alright, hi everybody. This is the Math 20-1 Trigonometry Review, question 11a. What I got to do here is I got to figure out the three primary trig ratios of the angle that pass through the given point here. So in this case, the point is 8, -6. Now this is a little different from the previous question, because in the previous question the point went through the first quadrant, which means that it wasn't behaving in any kind of weird way here. This one's going to be a little different. Okay, so when I plot this, first of all, notice I've got 8, -6, so it's going to be 8, -6. So this is now in the fourth quadrant, so here's my theta. Okay, so here's the theta that I'm analyzing here. Here's my triangle that I'm working with, and that's going to have an x-coordinate of 8 and a y-coordinate of -6. Okay, now applying the Pythagorean theorem to that, r will be the square root of 8 squared plus -6 squared. Now, when you do this, one of the more common mistakes made is to not put brackets there. And when you square that, if you just entered -6 into your calculator, and people do this all the time, if you just enter here, for example, -6 and square that, you get -36. But you know that a negative times a negative isn't negative, it should be positive. But that's because the square here only applies to the 6. It doesn't apply to the negative. If you want that to be -6 squared, you have to tell the calculator -6 squared. So you put that in brackets there, and there's where the 36 comes from. And when you do this, you will get 64 plus 36, or 100, and then the square root's going to be 10. So the r value here will be 10, which means that our primary trig ratios here, the sine of theta is going to be, well, now in this case here, we need to pay attention, very close attention to sines, because sines are linked to the quadrants that these things are in. Sine is the opposite, or the y-coordinate, over the r. So that will be -6 over r. I will keep that negative in there. And then I would simplify that because there's a common factor of 2, so -3/5. The cosine of theta is going to be the adjacent side over the r value, okay, or the hypotenuse there, 8 over 10. And again, there's a common factor of 2, so we'd make that 4/5. And then the tangent of theta will be the opposite, or the y-coordinate over the x-coordinate, so -6 over 8. And once again, there's a common factor of 2, so this will be -3/4. And those are the three trig ratios that we're looking for.